All right, if you're the parent of a 10, 11, or 12-year-old, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to talk about that massive shift that happens in their brains and give you a practical guide to the best tool we have to help them through it. We're talking about cognitive behavioral therapy. Let's dive in.
So, does it ever feel like your kid's brain just got some kind of confusing new software update? One day they're one person, and the next they're worrying about things you've never even thought of. Their inner world just suddenly seems so much more complicated, more sensitive, and honestly, a little overwhelming, right? Well, you're not alone, and you are definitely not imagining it. I mean, think about it. Just a few years ago, at age 7, their fears were pretty straightforward, right? Monsters, the dark, getting a scraped knee. You could usually fix those with a nightlight or a Band-Aid. But now, at age 11, the game has totally changed. The fears are abstract, they're social. The monster isn't under the bed anymore. It's the fear of being judged in the lunchroom. This isn't just a phase, it's a massive developmental pivot. So let's just be crystal clear. What you're seeing is a fundamental change in how your child's brain is processing the world. It is the single biggest transformation of their inner life. And understanding why it's happening right now is the absolute key to helping them build the right skills before these new anxious patterns get locked in as lifelong habits. We like to call this whole thing the preteen brain upgrade, because that's really what it is. Around ages 10 to 12, their cognitive operating system gets this huge update, taking them from simple here and now thinking to a world that's way more abstract and complex. Now, the official term for this is formal operational thinking, but what does that really mean? It means they suddenly have the new ability to think hypothetically, to imagine all kinds of possibilities. It's the power to see themselves from the outside and to finally get that other people have their own thoughts and feelings. And in so many ways, this is an incredible cognitive superpower. It's the building block for empathy, for complex problem solving, for everything, really. But, every superpower has its kryptonite, and the ability to think about what could happen also means the ability to worry about what could happen. This new brain hardware is practically built to run what-if scenarios on a constant repeating loop. What if I fail that test? What if nobody talks to me at lunch? What if I say something totally stupid? Sound familiar? And this right here is the perfect way to understand the crucial difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is your response to a real present danger, like, there's a spider on the wall right now. Anxiety, on the other hand, is a response to a potential future threat. It's the idea of a spider being at school tomorrow. This preteen brain upgrade makes them absolute masters of anxiety-driven, future-focused thinking. So if their brain just got this major hardware upgrade, they're going to need a user manual, right? Well, the best, most well-researched user manual we have for this new operating system is cognitive behavioral therapy. You'll hear it called CBT. And this is not just some nice idea. This is a scientific fact. Decades of research have shown that CBT is the absolute gold standard, evidence-based approach for childhood anxiety. This isn't about just talking endlessly about feelings. It's about learning practical, hands-on skills to manage thoughts and behaviors. And the data is just so clear. This is from the huge landmark CAMS trial. Kids who got CBT had a 60% positive response rate. That is more than double the kids in the placebo group. It just goes to show how powerful learning these skills can be. And it gets even better. A major review in JAMA Pediatrics confirmed CBT is the preferred first-line treatment. And why is that? Because it works. More than half the kids saw their anxiety symptoms just go away. And maybe just as important for parents, it's incredibly safe. We're talking no adverse events. Okay, so we know it works. But what? What is it really? Let's open up the Preteen Toolkit and take a look at the actual skills we can teach our kids to help them master their new brain. So tool number 1, and maybe the most important, is what we can call the thought detective. It's basically the skill of teaching kids not to believe every single thought that pops into their head. And this is so crucial because it stops that negative self-talk from becoming their default inner voice for the rest of their lives. It's all about learning to catch those huge, scary what-if thoughts and treat them like theories that need to be investigated, not like facts. So how does this actually work? It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you help them catch the thought, like, everyone is going to laugh at me if I mess up my presentation. Okay. Step 2, you look for evidence, like a real detective. Hang on a second, has that ever actually happened before? What's more likely to happen?
And then step 3, you help them create a more balanced, realistic thought. Okay, I might feel nervous, and that's fine, but I'm prepared, and it's super unlikely that everyone will actually laugh. All right, the second key tool is the fear ladder. See, an anxious brain screams one thing: avoid. The fear ladder teaches kids to do the exact opposite, but, and this is key, in small, manageable steps. So if giving that report is a 10 out of 10 on the fear scale, you don't start there. You start at the very bottom rung, maybe just thinking about it. Then you climb step by step, building confidence along the way until that final big step feels way more doable. Now listen, this is so important. The goal of the fear ladder is not to make the fear go away. The goal is for your child to learn an even more powerful lesson, that they can feel anxious and still do the thing. That experience, that proof that they can handle discomfort, is what builds real, lasting confidence and independence. Okay, so we've got these tools. Where do you, the parent, fit in? Well, this is where your job description really starts to change. You're shifting from being the manager of their life to becoming their supportive coach. A controller tries to fix the problem for them, either by dismissing it, oh, it's not a big deal, or by stepping in and fighting their battles. Don't worry, I'll just call the teacher. A coach does something totally different. A coach validates the feeling, yeah, I can see why that feels scary, and then they empower the child to take the next step, asking, so how can I help you get ready for this? So how do you become a great coach? First, you got to remember that to them, their social world is a big deal. Second, find ways to stay connected without hovering. Third, help them brainstorm solutions instead of just giving them the answers. And finally, and this one is huge, model your own courage. Talk about times you were nervous and what you did to push through it. And as you're doing all this coaching, I want you to hold on to this one amazing and really reassuring fact from the research. During that super stressful transition into middle school, you know how many close friends a kid needs to have, a significant protective buffer against anxiety? Just one. Not a huge popular group, just one good friend. Suddenly, that goal of helping them connect feels a lot more manageable, doesn't it? So let's end with this question. This whole brain upgrade, this new power for abstract thought, it doesn't have to be just a recipe for anxiety. With the right tools and with you as their coach, this new superpower is actually what lets them think through challenges, feel empathy, and consciously choose to be brave. We can help them see their new brain not as a bug, but as a feature, a platform for building a courageous and truly resilient life.